Okay, we're back, and today, remember Snap Challenge, $6 a day for 30 days. We've been creating some great options that actually stretch and are very good for your family on the initial store run. If you remember, roll back the tape, remember we went and did some pantry items, staple items, and then some bulk items that we could actually get within our budget. So $180, you all know I did the first run, and then I had to do a supplemental run. I spent the additional $8 that we had left, and we're going to make this work. I have a few more entrees or some meals that you could actually implement into your repertoire of food, and hopefully it's as good as it is to me, it will be for you. So let's get started. So today, first and foremost, if you remember, there was a bag of chickpeas that I bought. There were 3 dried beans that I actually purchased on the initial run. So we had the black eyed peas, we had black beans, and we had a bag of chickpeas. So the reason, again, of having the dried beans is one, you're going to get more yield out of it versus 1 or 2 cans that may have 1 or 2 options. With the chickpeas, the bag of chickpeas, this is the entire bag that I actually I soaked overnight for about 8 hours, and then in the refrigerator, and then I actually cooked them for about an hour and a half once I was here prepping for everything. So you see how much yield we have from this? This is a lot more than 1 can. So we're only today going to use about a cup and a half of this. And I wish I had some more ingredients. Don't worry, if we have to, hopefully we won't have to do round 2, because that would mean that we've been shut down for, or 30 days has expired. We'll do round 2 of our shopping run. There's some other items that I'm going to get. There is an avocado spread with chickpeas that is amazing on sandwiches. You can have it as a dip, and we can use these same chickpeas to actually use with that. And then let's see, there are some other things I'll talk about later that we could actually implement. So I'm going to take a cup and a half of these today once we get to that point, and implement it into this dish. So let me tell you what this particular dish actually consists of. So remember, we had that bag of sweet potatoes. There, I think I have 4 more left out of that big bag of potatoes. And today, this recipe I actually cut up. I diced up 5 of they're about this big, so they're not huge, 5 of the sweet potatoes, and I tossed it in olive oil. Remember, this is from our pantry run, and a little bit of pepper and salt. And I tossed it, and then I put it in my air fryer for about 25 minutes on 350. If you don't have an air fryer, no problem, just put it in your oven. It's going to do the same thing. We're roasting it. The whole point is to get them cooked and ready for our dish. So it's funny that I was actually driving home today from the gym, and I was watching an episode of another chef, Chef Shayla, and she was talking about the same thing. Her goal was to fix a meal within 30 minutes and make it easy for, moms, dads, families to actually prepare. And this version is not going to be her version because she used a lot more ingredients. It was a curry, chickpea, sweet potato type stew base, and it looked really good as she was preparing it. But I'm doing a variation just because we have limited items. But remember, these are things that we can add down the line to our pantry list. The curry that she used, I think there was turmeric, cumin, some other things that were part of the staple base that she has at her home kitchen pantry. So what I've already pre-done, and again, this was 1 of 2 of my last onions. So I took 1/3 of this onion, diced it up. I took 5 baby carrots, and I cut them in quarters. And then I took our last 2 stalks of celery and chopped it up. And then I took 3 of our cloves from the garlic and minced it right here. And then, like I said, these sweet potatoes, I took this can that we bought on store run 2 of the petite diced tomatoes. And remember, this was with no salt. We're trying to keep our sodium. Oh, I didn't get that one. Dang it. But the last can that we had was low sodium. So we want to keep our sodium content low. That's another reason why we make our own beans and make them. It's just more labor intensive. So if you have the time, That's the best option. And then I took about 2.5 cups of water and used our bouillon cubes. I used 3 of our bouillon cubes and put it in here. So this is going to be pretty simple. It's just a matter of getting it done. So let's get started. We're going to take some of our olive oil and we're going to cook down or saute down the mix that we have right here of the onions and our carrots, celery, and garlic. So we'll put all that in and cook that down. Now, one of the things that I've seen other people do and use, and the episode that I was talking about earlier, for time purposes, is I believe she used frozen sweet potatoes, and that was purely for time, trying to reduce the time that it takes to make an entree for these busy people. And for us, we had the sweet potatoes already there, so why not actually cook them down? We had the time, and typically I know that she probably cuts them and roasts them herself. So we're going to, like I said, get this all ready. And while that's cooking, another thing too that we could add to our staple was part of her recipe is coconut milk, and that was to make the curry version. And I'm sure that tastes delicious and everything. We just don't have the options. And one of the questions I've been asked along this journey is, how easy is it really to cook on $6 a day? Well, you've seen it. I mean, it has been a challenge coming up with recipes that are actually flavorful, nutritious, delicious, with limited resource. And just imagine, a lot of us are blessed and privileged to have some of the other things in our pantry and staple items. We have the free will to go purchase things. A lot of people don't have that option. So we have to be cognizant of, ways that we can actually help people and give them the same options that we have too, as far as food options, because eating healthy or eating just in general should not be an issue. We're in America. It should be finding the right foods and eating healthy. But then what comes with that, as you all know, is healthy options cost more a lot of times. So it's a struggle, but I think we've come up with a few, more than a few, a lot of different options. I'm just putting some seasoning in here. I'm going to use salt, a little bit of salt, pepper, and I'm going to use a little bit more garlic. This flame is a little high. Even though we have the minced garlic, this doesn't have salt in it, so this is more flavorful, adding flavor without the sodium. Okay, so we're going to still cook that down a little bit more. We want to make sure the carrots are cooked all the way down. And while we're doing that, we're going to measure out our our chickpeas. And I know you guys see some other things on the table here. We're going to create some other options that we have left from our ingredients. So we have, let's see, a can of chickpeas that you typically find in the store. It's typically about 1.5 cups. So we're going to do 1.5 cups. And then you see how much we have left. Amazing. So like I said, I'm going to show you all hopefully a chickpea avocado spread that would go great on sandwiches. And then we could also have this in a vegetable soup. Chickpeas are a great form of protein, so that's where we're getting our protein right here in this recipe. Okay, this is cooking down nicely. And let's see, the next thing we just want to, one other thing that I've been cooking too on the side, as you all know, we have two 5-pound bags of rice. So we have one white rice and one brown rice. I opted today to use the white rice, so we have plenty of rice left. So I get that going, get yours going on the side. I put mine in a rice cooker, but if you don't have a rice cooker, that's perfectly fine. You can do old school on the stove, or here during our regular business day, when we have tons of lunches to produce, we actually put our rice in the oven. So that's an option too. Just make sure you have a sealed lid, and it's the same way, 2 to 1 parts, two parts water, 1 part rice, and a little bit of oil. Well, I take that back. We don't use oil. Sometimes we do, but definitely a little bit of salt, and cover it and then cook it for on 350, 375 for about 45 minutes. You will get the same fluffy rice that you could have in a rice cooker or even on the stove. Okay, so this is actually good to go almost. So we're going to add in our bouillon, our chicken. Well, this could be vegetarian or vegan option if we had vegan bouillon, but as you all know, part of our pantry run was the original chicken bouillon cube, so it's okay. If we're vegetarian, if we're only cooking for vegetarian or vegan, we would have that option as the veggie bouillon. But we're just going to mix this with our the chicken bouillon that we have. That didn't mix down all the way. It's okay. It'll cook down. And then we'll let that simmer a little bit. We're going to add in our can of the diced tomatoes. That we have. And let that cook down. Is this? Yeah, it's on. Okay. I'm going to cover this and let it simmer some more. It'll cook a little bit faster. And while that is cooking down, that's another reason why I have some of this other stuff over here. We can kind of multi-prep while we're here. So the next thing, while this is cooking down, I'm going to let this cook for probably about 15 minutes or so, is we had the 2 cans of tuna left. And remember, we made a tuna casserole because originally we have 4 cans of tuna that we purchased. And I know that a lot of pantries stock this at home, but then also a lot of food pantries I've seen include this in some of their boxes, churches, shelters. So we're trying to find creative ways to, actually use the tuna outside of just tuna fish. But today we're going to make just a regular tuna fish sandwich as an option. We still have bread left. And so I took some of the eggs that we have left over, I boiled them, and let's see, I got a lot going on right here. I'm going to actually chop up the boiled eggs. So I have 2 boiled eggs right here, and nothing fancy. You see, I just took them, boiled them. If you don't know how to boil eggs, it's all good. What I did was I put it on a pot of water, boiled for, I don't know, 15 minutes or so. I like my eggs well done. Some people don't, but I do. And just boiled them. And then the key to it, because sometimes the shell stays on it, sticks on it. The key to that is once they get done boiling, immediately put them in cold water. And I had no problem taking the shell off of these. So this is, again, 2 cans of tuna, 2 boiled eggs, and then we have right here, we still have our bread from our original shopping run that we had here, and I'm sure this could actually make 2 sandwiches, so that's what we're doing. And then on the second run that I went to the store, I bought mayo. So again, what would have been great if we had the resources and the budget would be the chickpea spread with avocado. That could actually be a spread for our tuna instead of, or not a spread, but a filler to actually make it. Or with chicken salad. I'll have to show you guys another time. That could have been another one. Maybe, yeah, we'll have to check that out too. So we're just going to take our regular tuna. I've drained it. Very simple. right here, tuna, and then I'm going to add in the eggs along with a little bit of mayo and a little bit of salt and pepper. Very simple. Not a whole lot of the mayo just because we want to cut back on that, the fat component, but we have salt and pepper, and I'm going to add in a little bit of our onion powder that we have here. Since we don't have any more onions, I probably would have finely minced some of the onions and added that to this. So we'll use onion powder instead. And this was one of our pantry staple items. I know I was talking to someone that works here, and he said, oh, all I put in my tuna is salt and pepper. And that's personal preference. You can have that option too. We're going to have that cook down a little bit longer. But I'm just giving you another version. And another pantry staple item that I would love to include in this, and maybe the next time, would be sweet relish. I love sweet relish in my tuna fish. So we have our tuna right here, and I don't need this. One variation that I thought maybe we could actually do with this, that's why you see the cheese on here, is maybe do a tuna melt. So you could do that. Well, my burner's being used, but let me see if I can. Okay, so we won't do that quite yet, but what we could do is prep it if we want. If you wanted to actually make this, you'd get a skillet, and you know what? Let me get another burner. Bam. Okay. Of course. Hold on. Wait. I'm out of propane. Dang it. Okay, so found some propane and we are ready to go. All right, so yeah, you can make your tuna the traditional way, but sometimes you may want to just jazz it up a little. So I'm going to take this cheese and we're going to put a little bit of our olive oil in here, make our skillet hot, coat it with the olive oil. If you have butter, you could use that as well to coat your pan, but from our staple run, we just have the little bit of olive oil. We'll coat the pan like that. Get it hot. Let's check on our stew. It's looking very nice and smelling good. All right. And then I took this cheese. It'd probably work better if I had grated it, but I was rushing. And I should have shredded it, but it's going to work the same if you want to add. We still had a little bit of cheese left, so I went ahead and put the cheese on. And then, let's see. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to take our tuna and just make the sandwich like that. And okay, we'll let that cook down, and then the other one we'll just do traditional way. If you have, I don't know if you would have any left. We don't have anything left that we can use as far as the kale and the spinach, any fresh produce, but this would be ideal to add to your sandwich right here. It would make a great adding in the vegetable. Actually, I wish we had some, but we've already used it. But again, you have your regular tuna fish sandwich right here. The eggs are adding in great protein, as you all know. And then you have your regular, I mean, the tuna fish too is protein as well. So I would attempt to flip this, but I better not. Uh-oh. And I don't have the right utensils. But we'll make this work because I think I just burnt this. I did. But this is actually don't worry, y'all. I like my grilled cheese. I like my grilled cheese just a little bit done. Oh yeah, perfect. Don't worry. The other side's not gonna be as done, but it's more like a tuna melt. Our cheese is melted. Okay. See, that's how it's supposed to look. Next time we'll add more cheese so it will, melt a little bit better. Okay, sometimes I don't have the best ideas, but my intent is there. The intent is there. So we will put this on this is an option. Just at home, when you all do it, please don't burn it. This is a little bit more done than I'd like it, but I'm just giving you another option to actually make a tuna melt. Tuna fish. You don't have to have the cold version of of tuna. And there, bam. Okay, so I'll show you guys this all in a second, but let's get back to our, let me clean up. I don't like a dirty kitchen. Okay, let's get back to our stew. All right. Oh yeah, it's cooking down very nicely. And we're going to add, sometimes I get to see all the behind the scenes stuff. I wish you could have seen someone's face. It's all good. I mean, it's going to get eaten. Trust me. Okay, so we have our stew right here, and it is cooking down quite nicely. We're going to add in our chickpeas. Remember, the chickpeas are a good form of protein. And the only thing missing here, which I wish we had more, we just didn't have all, everything that we needed, were something a little more green. I would add at the end of this, we could use chopped spinach to this. But I just don't, we used up everything. We had zucchini, we had green beans. Oh gosh. Yes, this would have been ideal to have some fresh green kale, chopped kale, or you could use both, spinach. So the next time you guys make this could be an option for you. So you could eat this plain, kind of like chili if you wanted, or like I said, I was making some rice. We're gonna let this simmer a little bit more. And let me, okay. I think it needs probably, oh, you know what? That's what it needs. We're going to add in this, just having trouble. Smoked paprika today. We'll add that in, let that simmer down and cook. And then a little bit of our chili powder that we have. Okay. Now it's getting cold, so this is another option that is going to be very, it's like comfort, cold food. It's going to be very good, and we can add, you can eat this like it is, like a stew, or a soup. Or you could add in rice, which I think I'm gonna show you that option with the rice. I want this to simmer down a little bit more and cook. Okay, yeah. So, but we have all the vegetables. We have protein with the chickpeas. We have several vegetables, which is awesome. And then, like I said, if we had the spinach and or kale, we could add that at the end. So since we have our rice, I'm going to get some from our rice cooker, and then we're going to add the stew. Okay, we'll just put this. So this is approximately a cup of rice. Okay, and then once this gets done, we're going to add our stew to it. And you see, so we have a ton of rice. We have rice left, and then this is probably going to make another. We'll portion it out, and this is probably going to make another, I don't know, maybe a total of 5 or 6 portions. So you could easily take this and put half in the refrigerator and then the rest in the freezer. So that's something that you can meal prep and have readily available. If it's in the freezer, just pop it out, defrost it, bam, you have a meal right there. And you've already prepped it, so you won't have to worry about preparing a meal. So I'm gonna I didn't bring my portion spoon, the correct one. This is 4 ounces. I'm gonna make it so it's, yeah. We'll do about 6 ounces. So I would let this cook maybe a little bit more just to simmer down, but it's pretty much done. Wasn't that simple, easy? So we'll just take this, and you don't have to have it with the rice, but it's just, we can just add it to our rice, or you can have it without. So we did 4 ounces, and then we'll do just another 2. So that is gonna be, with the ingredients that we have left now, I mean, now y'all know I can throw down and cook and add some other deliciousness to these things. But we're working with limited resources. Again, people have to do this on a daily basis. So I'm just showing you some options. And this is going to be our chickpea and sweet potato stew. I hope you enjoy it. I don't want to hear it. I don't know how we can not use that, but
Burn the shit out that sandwich and then go try to lie to him right in their face.